All right, so let's cover what we covered in practice today. And actually, I'm going to start with something that we covered a lot at our last tournament, particularly for Micah Cruz, but this is a good refresher for everybody who was at the tournament even. First of all, 2-3-1 formation. This is our formation. We have two defenders. We have the three midfielders. We have a striker. This center midfielder is actually a CDM, a center defensive midfielder. So they participate in the attack, yet they stay back enough that they can quickly become the third defender when we lose the ball, right? Our defenders, what they do is they're going to push up and support the attack. They want to stay close, be available for drops, call out drops. You'll see that in these videos a lot. Very importantly, they let nobody get behind them, okay? Nobody gets behind them. And in fact, say if our right defender was moving up, say to close out the ball or something, the left defender is going to be kind of at an angle backing them up, and then vice versa. If the left defender's up, the right defender is going to be kind of backing them up. So we want to get used to this sort of backup formation, that approach, rather than having both of these guys pushing up and being too aggressive and letting people get in behind them. The left and right wing, as it relates to defense, what they're doing is, as soon as we lose possession, they're immediately closing out the ball if it's near them, or marking up somebody if the ball's near them. Or if the ball's already back behind them, like it is in this example where the ball's behind the left and right wing, they're going to be sprinting back to contribute on defense immediately. That's super important, super important. The striker's the only one, or the forward here, the striker. This is the only position that I don't want coming back and playing defense necessarily. I want them staying up top to keep the opponents honest. And when we do regain possession, we want somebody to help us stretch the field and send the ball down to. The other thing to cover here on the second slide is the build out from goal kicks. You're going to see a lot of this in these videos, that we are not staying wide enough. Whenever the goalie picks up the ball, or if there's a goal kick, we always basically revert to this same formation. We want the right wing to be super wide all the way to the sideline, right on the fallback, dotted line in the sideline, same with the left wing. And then the ball is always going to be going to our left or right defender, and that's their primary option, is to send it out wide on the sideline to the left or right wing. Okay, we've been practicing this for at least 40 minutes every practice for the last 2 weeks, so the kids should know this like the back of their hand. But still, in game situations, I think it kind of falls out of their mind at times. And then the last thing is, there'll be a video on this, but on every time the opponent's doing a goal kick, the striker puts pressure on, and everybody else marks up. Sometimes that means even one of our two defenders marks up, but nobody should be just standing around unmarked, except for maybe these two defenders back here. They may not have somebody to mark. Everybody else should be marked up and taking the options away, and that's going to lead to a good press that leads to easy goal scoring opportunities for us. So let's jump into these videos. The first one, and I will start by saying this, we're not trying to single any particular child out in these videos. What I've just done is I've collected a variety of examples of different things that we've done well or that we could do better. And so starting us off here, this is one where Owen makes a great move to get this ball. Owen's on defense here, makes a great move to get this ball, kind of bursts through the middle, and he takes probably one dribble too much right here. And we lose the ball. What we'd like to see is something more like this next example that I'm going to show you. It's almost an identical play, but he gets the pass off quickly. So you see Lucas was available outside here from the get-go. If Owen could have made that pass, that beautiful things could have happened here. And in fact, they do happen. So here's, like I said, almost an instant replay. Same play, Owen gets ball, immediately gets the pass out to Lucas before the defense gets to him, before the pressure gets to him. Lucas makes a nice cross. Jason and Hudson are there exactly where they're supposed to be to finish the job there. What we do on these plays is when the right wing has the ball and they're gearing up for a cross, the left wing always makes a run to the far post. The striker makes the run towards the middle of the goal. And that's what we see here. Perfect. And what's great is Jason starts stepping towards the ball. A lot of kids will wait for the ball to come to them. We want them to do what Jason's doing here, which is go to the ball, beat the goalie to the ball, and finish the job, which is what he does. Boom. Beautiful. All right. So, Owen, get your passes off quickly. Now, this is about containing. So I tell the kids, contain all over the field. We can contain over here. We can contain over here. We can contain over here. Containing is not just for our defender. Containing is everybody's responsibility. So here, let's just play that again. Drew takes a stab at the ball rather than containing, and as a result, the ball gets through. Jason has a good example of containing right here, where he just really slows this kid down and doesn't let him get by. And then Drew goes for the clear. Now, the only issue with this clear is, and I know Drew's under a lot of pressure here in this situation, so he's just trying to get that ball out of there. But when in doubt, clear it out to the sides rather than down the middle. So if Drew could have cleared this to the side, that would have gave us a little bit better result. Instead, Clark had to come out and make a save there. So all good, though. We will work those bugs out. This is an example of how to contain really well, because we have been working on containing to the outside. So not just containing, but really steering them the direction you want to steer them. So we want to steer them outside away from the goal. That the kid wants to cut inside. Leonard doesn't give him the inside. Leonard's pushing him to the sideline, which is what we want. And Leonard does a good job to kick that ball away. He didn't even necessarily have to that. He could have just kept containing him all the way to the end. But yeah, when you see your opportunity to poke the ball away, we poke the ball away. All right, so this one is an issue really with communication. So Owen is in a perfect spot. He's over on the sideline, just where we want him to be, over here, right on the sideline. Leonard is not on the sideline. We'd like to see Leonard all the way on the sideline over here, because those are the wings, okay? But what we'd like to see here also is this ball is going to go to Owen, but he's going to have someone on his back immediately. Matter of fact, he's going to have two players on him immediately. We need his teammates to talk to him. Jason should and probably was calling for the drop, and everybody else should also be telling Owen, man on, or something to that effect. So Jason gets it out to Owen. Owen does a great job of coming back to the ball. We love that. We have a tendency to run away from the ball on these situations. Owen does a great job coming back to the ball, making sure he gets to the ball first, helping Jason out. But Owen's trying to work through two players right here. If he could have just immediately dropped the ball back to Jason, we could have swung it around and done something different on this play. Okay, so free kicks. Just a lesson for the kids, because we get this wrong a lot. And what we want them to do is, when there's a free kick situation down by our own goal, the tendency, what the kids want to do on every free kick is basically kick the ball as hard as they can. If we were to do that here, there's 4 blue players here that would surely receive the ball, and they'd be on the attack and firing back at us real quick. So what we want to do is instead just treat this like a goal kick. Zion just taps it to Oliver. Oliver just takes space, dribbles ahead, and then looks for a pass to make. In this case, he didn't really have a pass, so he just kind of sends it up, passes to the other team. But the way that play started was right, that we want to start it like a goal kick and just treat it as if it's a goal kick. So we're not inducing any more risk in the situation. Likewise, when the ball's in this sort of situation, this is basically a corner kick. You see the corners right here, we're just up a little bit better. Yes, Oliver can fire this right at the goal, sure. But this is, well, for one, this is an indirect kick, so we don't necessarily want to fire it right at the goal. But we regardless, direct or indirect, we want to treat this more like a corner kick. So Martikeo and Riker could actually be back in this back corner, ready to make a run, okay? So Oliver does raise his hand, which is a signal for them to start their run. The runs don't really come, though, and Oliver probably should have waited to make sure he saw them making a run. But just like we do in corner kicks, we raise our hand, we make a run, and if we would have had a strong run, say, from Riker and Martikeo in here, Alex is offsides, but if we had a strong run from these guys, we might have had a chance to tip, to kick that ball in before it got to the goalie on the hop, okay? So let's go over a couple goal kick situations. This is one where we need to have Lucas wide. So Lucas is not wide. He's very narrow. And Jason has a great awareness here to pass it back to Drew. And Lucas gets it. He's a little narrow, so he's kind of in the thick of the defense. If Lucas was out here, we'd be off to the races right there, okay? Or we'd at least have the defense stretched out or the opponent stretched out. And there'd be opportunities for Lucas to send it back inside to some of his teammates. But we were just playing too narrow here, and it didn't work out. But I do want to point out also that Jason had great awareness here. He knows what we tell the kids is BOTS, ball. Always know where the ball's at. Opponents, teammates, and space. BOTS, bots. Know where all those things are before the play starts. And you should be scanning all the time to identify where these things are. So Jason is dribbling the ball up. He recognizes that all the defense, the opponent, is over here on this side. He recognizes that there's space and his teammates on this side. And he, most importantly, he knows there's no blue player in the middle. Because if you don't know that, you can't make this pass. But Jason knows there's no blue players here. He makes the pass to Drew. Perfect. We want Lucas more out wide. He starts getting wide, but he just didn't get out wide enough. And it was a little narrow on that play. But good heads-up play by Jason on the goal kick. This one, again, we got Leonard. He was trying to get out there, but again, and I would say, Clark, don't put the ball into play until you see your wings in position. Clark, your wings got to be in position. So Leonard needs to be on the sideline. If Leonard's on the sideline, this is a much easier pass to make from Drew here. And then the other thing for Leonard on this one is that we've been working on this in practice a lot the last week. So they'll do better on this, I know. But we want these wings to work back to the ball. They start up here, but then as soon as the ball's put in play, they're going to work back to the ball so that Drew has an easy pass. We want to create easy passes on our build-out. We shouldn't have like these types of challenging passes like this. Like this is a really low percentage, pass to make when Leonard's standing right next to the defender. It's just Drew didn't really have anywhere to go there. So okay, so marking on the goal kick. So this one is just like the diagram I showed. Riker's going to put the pressure on. As soon as the ball moves to this side of the field, Alex did a good job marking up over on this side before the goal kick started, but he needs to shift over immediately and mark this guy. Tucker's trying to mark two guys because he's not getting help, but Tucker could just be marking number 20. Jacob as a CDM could be marking right here. If those players are all marked, this ball does not get out, and we might have an opportunity to put a quick, easy goal in. Instead, we were not marked, and they get out of this situation because we just didn't have anybody marking this guy back here. So, all right. Let's see. This is like a deja vu here. Same play, different player. We want Mose. We want you to be on the sideline. So left wing, right wing, your feet can literally be standing on the sideline. That's the best way to do it. And that way the angle for Jason to make a pass to you is going to be great. Right now we're just kind of in line and makes a really tough pass because basically as soon as Jason gets the ball, he's going to want to come straight up the field. That's what we're taught to do, come straight up the field. Owen Mose is kind of occupying this space that Jason wants to dribble into. So we're just kind of crowding the space rather than staying wide for the easy pass. Okay. All right. So this one, same situation really. We want Zeke to be really wide here. If Zeke's wide, this can be a great play. Everett does exactly what he's supposed to do, just keep taking space. For some reason, Blue's not putting any pressure, so Everett's going to keep taking space. Until the pressure comes, then the pass is made. Unfortunately, Zeke is just too narrow here. If Zeke's wide, this is great. Everett makes the pass to Zeke, and then Zeke can redirect the ball into the middle, something like that, and it's going to be beautiful. So it's really just about getting wide right there. Now on a couple plays here with that involve the goalie. So what I teach the kids when you're playing goalie. So for all of our goalkeepers, Tucker, Clark, Zeke, Elias, etc., Drew. If you're going to come out to a ball, you better be 110% sure that you're going to get there first. If you're not 100% sure, don't come out. The other rule we have is if you have a defender helping you and you're not one-on-one, if there's a defender there to help you, do not come out. Stay home and protect the goal. In this case, he does have a defender helping him. This is Drew. So I don't want Clark to come out on this. He did come out, and that's, once that's done. But he needs to be sprinting back because now he's got two people helping him. He's got Drew and Jason, both goal side of the ball to help him. I want Clark sprinting back to take his position in the goal. Now, Jason's doing exactly what he's taught as well, though. Jason is a very smart player, and he knows that when you see a teammate out of position, you cover their position. So Jason is covering Clark at goal. So Jason is now the goalie. And sure enough, they get by, and Jason's there to clear it. Now, Jason is kind of in a hurry here and clears it to the middle. It'd be really nice just to send this out wide, because you can see when you clear it to the middle, bad stuff can happen there. So, but nonetheless, really smart play by Jason to back Clark up and protect the goal there. This one is a really smart play by Clark, and we see this on throw-ins sometimes too. I'll show you one a little bit later. Clark runs up the middle, so this player's looking at him, this player's looking back at him, this player's looking at him. They think Clark's going to do something in the middle of the field, which leaves that misdirection, leaves Hudson wide open. So really smart play. Our goalkeepers can learn from this, because then he gets it out to Hudson with a strong bowl up to Hudson, and we get a chance to go down and do something with it. This is another just great play all around. This play is just a beautiful thing right here. Clark makes a great decision to come out and get this ball. Otherwise, that could have been bad. He comes out, recognizes it, and leaves because he knew he would get there first. Clark gets to it first. He immediately gets us started on a counter attack. Hudson drops it to Drew, which is beautiful. I love the quick drop to Drew. Leonard, great trap and pass. Lucas gets it through to Owen. Owen almost gets a chance to fire a shot with his left foot here, but he immediately recognizes that he's covered, well defended, and drops it to Jason. So, I mean, when you just look at the sequence from Clark's hand, one touch from Hudson back to Drew to Leonard getting it through before the defense closes him out to Lucas. Lucas, smart play, gets it to Owen. Owen realizing he's well defended, and then sees Jason on the drop. Boom, shot opportunity. We like that. All right, good pressure on this play here to get this one started. That's Owen putting the pressure on. Good job. Gives Lucas a nice shot. And actually, I mean, that ball almost went in. That goalie had to get up and just grab that with his fingers there. I mean, that almost went over his head. But the only thing I'd say on this is for Lucas or anybody kind of taking this shot here, if you can aim for the back post, I mean, the goalie's there at the near post. I know it's hard to see this in real time, obviously. But we know on our team when the right wing has the ball, in this case, Lucas might have been on defense even, that you're going to have runners. You're going to have Jason run into the far post. You got Hudson run into the middle of the goal. So if you can get that pass towards the back posts, kind of across the front of the goal, there's a good chance one of these guys is going to put it in. But that was a good play nonetheless. Okay, so a couple of interception plays, what I call these interception plays. So in American football, this is like when the quarterback throws the ball to the wrong team. Okay, so Drew's got the ball here. Instead of just maintaining possession, kind of does sort of a Hail Mary pass up the middle through all the defenders, and it just goes to the other team. We want to not do that when we can. This is kind of a different take on that. Lucas has the ball and kind of throws an interception to the other team's goalie here. I think he could have taken one or two more dribbles and got a strong cross or a strong shot off. Instead, just decided to kind of fire that sort of weak shot right there, and it just had no juice on it. So if he could have turned that corner, got a couple more dribbles, would have had a much stronger pass or shot, because you had guys over here ready to run in there to receive a cross. One more. First of all, let's point out what we see here. We got Drew with a misdirection. Drew is facing forward like he's going to throw it forward, then immediately turns for the drop. I like that quick drop. Beautiful. The only thing we'll say here is that's sort of just that Hail Mary play I talked about, where you're just kind of sending it and hoping something good happens. But in fact, there's defenders all around Jason. You know, that ball's not going to make it through to Jason. So what we'd rather see here is if you want to chip it like that, which is great, I like the play, try to chip it all the way across the field to Owen Mose over here. If you can just find it, get the ball anywhere into space over here, you're going to have Owen Mose one-on-one with the defender if we can get the ball across the field. Okay, and then one last one. In this situation, I would love Alex to just tap that out to Riker, who's making the run with him, rather than basically passing to the goalie. If we don't have a strong shot, let's not take it. Let's create the easy shot opportunities by just tapping that to Riker to finish the job on that one. Now coming down the home stretch, we just got 3 more plays to share here. These are about space recognition. These are very positive plays here. We're doing some good stuff. Oliver doesn't allow this guy to turn, immediately puts it in front of Martikeo in space. Martikeo with a great cross. Micah with a fantastic trap, one of the best I've seen from him, and really creates the situation where this kid kind of falls on the ball and gets a handball in the box. We end up scoring on the PK, and it all starts with two things. One, Oliver's taking up the space behind number 4, so he has got no space to turn and do anything with it. As soon as he turns, Oliver's in his face. That's what we want. And then next, he recognizes, oh, there's some space in front of Martikeo. Let me put it not to Martikeo's feet. Let me put it to the space in front of Martikeo so he can run. Martikeo comes through. Great trap by Micah, and almost finished the job himself, but Oliver came in and finished the job with a PK. Another one, look at this. This is all about identifying the space. If you look at the screen right here, there's a huge space right here. Oliver knows that space exists. Watch what happens when the ball comes through. Oliver, easy. Just tap it into the space. Martikeo's got wheels, and he's off to the races. Now, he could have gotten a little bit closer. What I like the kids to do is to keep their head up. And if he sees that, hey, the goalie is not coming out, which the goalie's not, he's hanging back. If the goalie's not coming out, you got another dribble or two to set this one up to really treat it more like a penalty kick. Get in this space right here and fire away. This is a really tough shot from this far out. So I'd rather Martikeo just stay on the attack longer and try to glance up to see what the goalie is giving him. So, all right, and then finally, let's end on a great play. I'm just going to tell you about this play. We have Riker as the left wing. Jacob is on point at striker here, and Martikeo is the right wing. These guys know that when they're making runs, if Riker was dribbling down this side of the field, Jacob's going to make his run to the middle of the goal. Martikeo's making his run to the far post. The opposite actually happened here. Riker does a great chip across to Jacob. Jacob gets it out into space in front of Martikeo. Martikeo makes a great athletic play to get around this guy and fire a rocket of a cross. And Jacob and Riker finished the job because they didn't stop. They stayed with the play. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. The play starts right here. As soon as Riker passes to Jacob, he's going to start running. As soon as Jacob passes to Martikeo, he's going to start running, and they're going to end up. It's like textbook. They're going to end up right in the right spot at the right time to finish the job. Well done, boys. All right, thanks for watching. That's it for our film study from practice today.